Welcome back to the news at 10. Let's now join our Abuja studios for more news reports with Linda Akibe. Linda.
Hello, Gimba. Welcome to Abuja. It's World Book Day, and Famfa Oil has joined school children in Nigeria to celebrate the day. The company's management brought together top executives from corporate organizations to read from a storybook to some pupils in public primary schools. Our correspondent, Olu Phillips, tells us more.
It's not often you see pupils from different primary schools gather in a hall. Did you forget? It's World Book Day. And these children are going to be making the best of it because a corporate entity, Famfa Oil, is making that possible for them.
You look amazing. Give yourselves a big round of applause.
Everything suddenly grew still. Then there came a mighty gushing wind.
The focus here, aside some fun times, is to heighten literacy competences through reinforcing the importance of reading.
Education is important, and so are our stories. They tell of who we are and where we come from, and how we can explain and show who we are, and expand our creativity. Without our stories, we lose our sense of identity. And our identity is made up of our people. And if we lose our stories, then we lose ourselves as a nation. And this is important because it makes us who we are in the world.
So it's not just the usual rhetoric or speaking over their heads. These executives have left their schedules just to be with these public school pupils, share with them, and read some stories to them.
Mama, let me go and start washing your wrapper now so it will dry quickly to make you look fine and neat when you go to the festival.
The story is from the book titled Chidubim, the Child of Destiny. The book captures the life of an indigent child who eventually excelled against odds in the village and the city because he made books his companion.
We got down from the car and went inside the house. The house was huge. The only house I've seen as big as this is the king's palace in our village.
In between, the kids were educated through dance, drama, songs, and even spelling exercises.
Melody, please spell delicious.
D-E-L-I-C-I-O-U-S, delicious.
Very correct. Very correct. So we go back to our reading. So I'm just going to read chapter 3. When I was done with my chores, it was 2:30 p.m. I checked the kitchen for food in the fridge, but I didn't see anything I could eat apart from one mango. So I sat in front of the compound to eat the mango and have my afternoon rest. Not long after that, somebody hit my back heavily.
I was able to do well with the lessons, and my aunt allowed me to start going to school again. I passed all my subjects in school and took first place in my class, to my auntie's surprise.
How more appropriate can the day be captured any better than to meet the 11-year-old author of the book?
I started writing at the age of 7, actually. Yeah, my mom used to tell me to go write like in business plan. Yeah, whenever we're watching too much TV or playing too much. Yeah, from there.
The punishment, right?
Yeah, and then I fell in love with drawing. So it's like under the pictures, I write something.
Okay.
Yeah, from there I got the inspiration to write books.
The value addition of these days further reinforced by the time shared in the interaction and mentorship brought by these executives. Olu Phillips, Channels Television News.
Now to less cheery news. 5 persons are feared to have died in a landmine attack in Hadamari, the headquarters of Jere local government area of Borno State. An unspecified number of people were also reportedly injured in the attack. Local witnesses believe the landmines were laid by insurgents to target the military, who always pursued them each time they attack. The insurgents had attacked Hadamari a week ago, but quickly beat a retreat upon sighting approaching Air Force fighter jets. Since then, the army had barred villagers from going beyond safe perimeters around the village. However, local cucumber farmers reportedly defied the military embargo and used an alternative route out of the town to their farms when they drove over the landmine. Attempts by our correspondent, Blessing Tuno, to reach the GOC 7 Division of the Army yielded no results, as his phone line is said to be switched off. And that's all from Abuja. Back to you, Gimba.
Many thanks indeed, Linda. InterSwitch Group, a Nigerian Pan-African digital payment and commerce solutions company, has announced the takeoff of the second edition of its InterSwitch SPAC National Science Competition. The group head, brands of the company, EHIMUAN-CHIAZOR, at an event in Lagos, explained that the competition is open to girls and boys in public and private secondary schools in Nigeria, aged between 14 and 17 years.
This was the crowning moment for the winner of the InterSwitch SPAC National Science Competition 1.0, an initiative of InterSwitch Group to promote science, technology, engineering and mathematics education in the country. Building on the gains of the first edition, the Digital Payments and Commerce Solution Company announces the second edition while spelling out the advantages of the different segments of the program.
This is why we believe that every participant of InterSwitch SPAC is a winner, because it's a 360 degrees platform where you can learn a lot more from, and it's not just about the quiz competition itself.
The Digital Payment Solution Company says STEM is the future, and the National Examination Council could not agree less.
InterSwitch SPAC National Science Competition is a good way to sustain senior secondary school student interest in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics subjects, which of course has been having the acronym of STEM.
As the InterSwitch SPAC 2.0 program rolls up, the registration process is not cumbersome, and students from the senior secondary school too are eligible.
Each school will log on to www.interswitchspark.com. That's the registration portal. Of every 6, you have at least 2 have to be female. There can be more, but at least 2 have to be female.
We have SS2 students from secondary schools. So we know they are aged between 14 to 17 years. So those are the people eligible. All students, private, public, government, whatever school, can please participate.
When the program comes to a close in another year, there will be 3 winners, with the overall winner going away with a 7.5 million naira university scholarship. With this, InterSwitch Group says to schools, get on board now.
Impressive indeed, 7.5 million for the winner. You're watching News Track, the news at 10, rather, on reaching you live from Lagos. Time now for business news with Anwar.
You first. First Bank.
Thanks a lot, Gimba. We'll begin with the Bureau of Public Enterprises having inaugurated 4 committees to help create a blueprint to address challenges affecting the growth of some privatized enterprises in the country. The Director General of the BPE, Mr. Alex Oko, explains that the committees are also to provide policy makers with further insight and credible solutions into the practical realities facing the sectors in which the enterprises were privatized. Officials of the Central Bank and the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, have agreed to strengthen the country's fight against economic crimes. At a meeting which took place in the nation's capital, Abuja, the 2 agencies adopted strategies aimed at curtailing activities of economic saboteurs, which include smuggling of commodities and items on the prohibition list, of accessing foreign exchange through official window, as well as tracking illicit financial flows. It's the second day of downturn at the domestic stock market in the new month of March. Investors are still extending profit-taking across all the 5 counters of the NSE. Let's join Ekaite Afia for the details.
Hello and welcome to the Stock Market Report. all the major sectoral indices took a plunge today, reflecting investor sentiments against the details of the earnings released by some of the companies listed on the stock exchange. The oil and gas sector was down the most by nearly 1%, still reeling from Seplat's earnings, while the industrial and consumer goods counters followed in the negative territory, shedding 0.39 and 0.17% respectively. As a result, the all-share index fell 0.22%, nearing the 31,000 level. Volume and deals were slightly higher compared with Wednesday's session at 218.89 million shares traded in 3,519 transactions worth over 2 billion naira. The shares of Zenith, Access, and FBN Holdings were the most actively traded for the day, even as the banking index trimmed 0.13%. And that's the stock market report. I'm Akaite Afia.
Thanks a lot, Akaite. On the global scene now, leading world stock markets have ended today's trading session mostly lower on a combination of lower Eurozone growth forecast, global growth concerns, and even unclear direction of US-China negotiations. Let's see the closing figures for today. That's business news tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Anne Nwawadu. It's back to you, Gimba.
You first. First Bank.
Thank you, Anne. Still ahead on the news at 10 and from our London bureau, across the world in 5. Stay with us.